In 2022, when I first recited a poem by Maya Angelou, I wrote the following introduction. I have updated it to reflect the current episode. Maya Angelou was recently honored by having her image placed on the new quarter coin in the US. This honor was made possible by Congresswoman Barbara Lee, who championed the idea with a bill inviting the American public to recommend names of iconic women to be so honored. The other chosen women are Dr. Sally Ride, the first female astronaut, and Wilma Mankiller, the first female principal of the Cherokee Nation. Maya Angelou came to me very late in life. I grew up in London, and so US literature was not our primary supply line. The slave trade was not a topic we learnt about. We knew about the civil rights movement, but that seemed like an isolated phase in history, as opposed to a natural social response to fundamental injustice and long-term institutional discrimination, hate, and impoverishment. For that matter, in the 1980s, we didn't learn much about the British Empire, well, not beyond the successes, the wonders it brought to the uncivilized world, and how the sun never set upon the lands belonging to the British monarch. In high school, though, my English teacher introduced a week of special learning with a man who was a member of a civil rights organization in London. He talked about many of these topics, and I remember some of his sessions more than I remember any of the other ones, though he didn't introduce me to Maya Angelou. I came across Maya Angelou completely randomly while searching for poetry written by women. I felt then, as I do now, that my consumption of literature written by men by far outweighs the amount written by women, and so I wanted to address this imbalance. And so I found Miss Angelou, and how happy I am to have done so. I am nowhere near through the vast amount of poetry and literature she penned, and in many ways that pleases me, as I know there remains so much to discover. Every chosen word of hers that I have read, in combination with their fellow words, combined to project vivid pictures, feelings and strong emotions. How I would have loved to listen to her in person, just to glean some crumbs of her wisdom. What follows is a short poem called A Plague Journey. I cannot do the words justice. They ring like a summons, a demand, an accusation. Unlike Still I Rise, A Plague Journey is haunting. It talks of a darkness, how hope fades, and how her bonds are familiar. I don't know what Maya Angelou was referring to precisely in this poem, but I can speak of what it draws out from my thoughts. We have, for a long time as a species, wandered into the darkness. We are familiar with it. We have come to know it. It beckons us, embraces us. Even though we fear it, and we run for the light to lap up its warmth and the hope it exudes, we always return to the darkness, lapping at our ankles. This is the weight of human disunity. We are weak against the consuming darkness, because we do not come together to fight it. We are too possessive and arrogant and entitled to consider even sharing a battle, because who knows? If we were to win, we may have to share the spoils of that victory. So it is perhaps better for so many of us to own our own personal darkness than to share hope. Maya Angelou remains ever present. She represents beauty and pain, pleasure and fight, freedom and suffering. No heart that beats could ever fail to beat along to the rhythms set by her artistry. For a lover of longer poetry, it is not often easy for me to attain fulfillment from shorter poetry forms. Yet Maya Angelou's words had so much depth that I found my thoughts drifting for long periods, demasking her raw imagery. Maya Angelou was a giant in a world that required people like her to be larger than life. She reached levels of great fame and was loved the world over, and it's refreshing to know she was so greatly appreciated while still alive. Her work, her art, is a compilation of challenging intensity and wisdom, and coming to terms with who we are within the identities that rage throughout her pieces, would exhibit an awareness of humanity and many strides upon the path of justice and understanding. Today, April the 4th, is Maya Angelou's birthday. Let us share in the brilliance of the sun and cast a thought or two back to the majesty of her poetry. To you, Maya, and thank you. This is Two and a Mic. Rise up and be curious.
Dung weche pek kod welo mabiro e Two and a Mic. Dung parodit kod jok mawuoye e Two and a Mic. Seche tin sud buta wawinji e Two and a Mic. Ola wachokre wabed piny bi wawinje ero chako Dung omit ndi Two and a Mic podcast makende.
A Plagued Journey by Maya Angelou. There is no warning rattle at the door, nor heavy feet to stomp the foyer boards. Safe in the dark prison, I know that light slides over the fingered work of a toothless woman in Pakistan. Happy prints of an invisible time are illumined. My mouth agape rejects the solid air, and lungs hold. The invader takes direction and seeps through the plaster walls. It is at my chamber, entering the keyhole, pushing through the padding of the door. I cannot scream. A bone of fear clogs my throat. It is upon me. It is sunrise, with hope, its arrogant rider. My mind, formerly quiescent in its snug encasement, is strained to look upon their rapturous visages, to let them enter even into me. I am forced outside myself to mount the light and ride joined with hope. Through all the bright hours I cling to expectation until darkness comes to reclaim me as its own. Hope fades, day is gone into its irredeemable place, and I am thrown back into the familiar bonds of disconsolation. Gloom crawls around, lapping lasciviously between my toes, at my ankles, and it sucks the strands of my hair. It forgives my heady fling with hope. I am joined again into its greedy arms. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?